Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel on another Monday mix. Now just to let you know before we move on that next week's Monday mix is going to be moved to Wednesday, so it's going to be a midweek mix instead. The reason for that is we've got the Mega Marathon Monday 50p hunts coming up, 9 channels taking part. The first channel starts off at 12 p.m. and the last channel will be doing their hunt at 8 p.m. I think my slots are at 5 p.m. and there's also a Kew Gardens 50p up for grabs to one lucky viewer. Now, as you know, on a Monday mix we do a bit of everything. We might look at some coins I've received in the post, a bit of info from past events, and we usually do a spotlight on a coin or a coin set, which isn't actually on this week. But what we're going to start off with is things that you might have missed in the news. The first one being the latest Isle of Man coin set that's just come out, the history of the motor racing. Now the BU pack is, I believe it's £37.50, $3.99 postage, but there's only going to be an initial allocation of 1,500, so that might mean that there may be more sets involved. There isn't a coloured set, but there is a coloured silver set, and I think that's £375, which is sort of way out of my league. And secondly, on the 1st and 2nd of June, Change Checker are doing their latest 50p swap at the Imperial War Museum in Duxford, Cambridgeshire. Now it looks like you can only get in via a ticket, and tickets are very, very pricey. £49.50 for adults from 16 years upwards, 15 years and below is free to enter. Now last year there was 34,000 people attended the Battle of Britain air show, and they're probably expecting the same amount for this year as well. But like I said, you can't just turn up and do 50p for 50p swap. It will be on ticket based only, and you can actually get that from the Imperial War Museum Duxford, Cambridgeshire website. Now I'm recording this on Sunday the 19th of May, so you'll see this video on Monday the 20th of May, and hopefully you will have had the announcement that the next 50p coin release has been announced, and that is the D-Day coin. So that is celebrating 80 years. Now I don't have a picture as yet, but by the time I get this edited there should be a one out, and if there is, I will actually stick it up in the corner. Right, I'm going to change it up a bit now. I'm going to have a look at some more world coins. Now, when I used to do the what's in the box, we used to do about 20 at a time. I've started to do only 10 because obviously there's other things that I want to look at. Now I've got here world coins that Smithy kindly donated, which by the way, if nobody actually realised, it was Smithy's 50th birthday on Saturday gone. So everybody in the comments, wish happy birthday to Smithy. He's a long-time supporter of many a channel. And there's coins in here from Jude S and some that I bought as well. So we'll have a quick look and see what we've got. I'll just zoom in a tad. I might have to zoom in a bit more if I can't see the coin properly. So I don't know what we've got here. Oh, this looks it's like some sort of token from Reader's Digest by the looks of it. A thank you token for £12.97. I don't know whether you can sort of get the money back for a book for that. I don't know. Right, next one. This is from Yugoslavia. Was it one dinar? It says dinar, so we'll go with that. One dinar, 1981. Oh, this is French. We'll get a lot of French coins. 10 centimes, 1986. This is Turkish. lira, 2014. I will put some annotations up in the corner if I haven't already done so, give you some idea on mintage figures and if I need it for the collection. Another French coin here, 1 franc from 1978. This is another French one. That's bon pour, that's good for 2 francs. I think we've had this one before. It's about 19, I was going to say 1920 or 23. I believe that might be a commemorative. What we've got here? Tunisia, 5 centimes, 1892. I don't know if that's the right way up or not. Just trying to think what that date is there. If that'll be a 1309 in the Islamic calendar. Nice one. Another French coin. How many French coins have we got in here? 1983, 20 centimes. How many is that? 8. Well, we've only had 7 coins really because we've got that Reader's Digest one. Nice small one here. That's an American dime. 10 cents. P mint mark, Philadelphia Mint, 1994. Five centésimos. It's from Uruguay. 1953. And one more. Oh, this is another small one. Malaysia, 5 sen, 1980. I think that's their government building. There you go. So that's 11 coins there, but really there's only 10. So I'll clear the board and we'll get ready for the next thing. So let's have a look at some events that's actually happened on this particular day in the past. We'll start with births. So the famous actor James Stewart was born on the 20th of May 1908. He featured in several great films like The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, Rear Window, one of the Hitchcock thrillers, and obviously the one that tends to be watched every Christmas, It's a Wonderful Life. Also born on this day in 1947 was Greg Dyke. So he celebrates his 77th birthday today. He was the former Director General of the BBC and also former FA Chairman. On the 20th of May 1946, famous actress and singer Sherilyn Sarkisian was born, also known as Cher. Now, she had a number 1, believe it or not, on this particular day in 1991. It was halfway through a 5-week stay at the top of the charts with the Shoop Shoop song, It's in His Kiss. I believe that was from the film Mermaids, which also included Bob Hoskins. Also born 20th of May 1944 was Joe Cocker. He hit number 1 in 1968 with A Little Help From My Friends, sort of like a Beatles song. He also had a hit with Jennifer Warnes with Up Where We Belong, and that was from the film Officer and a Gentleman. Now, also born on the 20th of May 1952 was the Cameroon footballer Roger Miller. Now, he was part of the Cameroon football team who became the first African side to reach a World Cup quarter-final in 1990, finally losing to England. But he did actually come out of retirement for the next World Cup in 1994 in the United States, and he actually became the oldest player to ever score in a World Cup at the age of 42. Now, people who have actually died on this particular day, 20th of May 2019, was Andreas Niklaus Lauda, better known as Nicky Lauda. So he was aged 70 when he passed away. He was actually a Formula One racing driver, and he actually had 3 World Championships in 1975, 1977 and 1984. Quite remarkable. The last 2 followed a horrific accident in 1976 where he actually was quite severely burned and very, very close to death. So to come back from that and win a World Championship the following year in 1977 is just absolutely remarkable. Also on the 20th of May 1506, Italian explorer Christopher Columbus passed away. Now, his birth date's just approximate. It gives 2 dates there. It doesn't mean to say he was actually born twice. Now, I've already mentioned Cher's number 1, but there's actually 2 other number 1s I'd like to mention. Way back in 1985, now this is probably Dan Temple's favourite song, allegedly. Paul Hardcastle in 1919, and that spent 5 weeks at number 1. This is probably trumped by the 1990 song Killer by Adamski with vocals by Seal. Right, next up I've received another coin in the post. Now, hopefully it's the same coin that I showed you last week, because I did send away 4 2. Let's get rid of the evidence here. Yeah. So it is the Star Wars coin. Like I say, I've already shown you this last week, so I'm not going to go through it all again. And we do have another scratch card. Now, the last time out we did actually get a 1986 Commonwealth Games scratch card, and I've heard that there has been somebody getting the other Northern Ireland one. Unfortunately, that is not what I'm getting, because I'm just getting another Florence Nightingale. So I've got quite a few of them as well. Right, let's finish off with a look at some coins. So I've got some pre-decimal penny folders here, Whitman folders. I don't have the 1860 to 1881 yet. I will have to try and source one. Because I've got a few of those dates which I've actually put into empty slots in these, so they will have to be taken out. But I've seen on quite a few channels comments on where the ship and the lighthouses have disappeared to, because they're on some coins and not others. So hopefully I will get this right, otherwise I'm in big trouble with Coin Patrol and probably Matt's coins as well. So if I do get anything wrong, lads, you can actually put us right in the comments. So we'll start off with this one. Now, I don't have an 1860, but I do have an 1861. Now, as you can see, this one has a lighthouse on the left-hand side, and we've actually got a man-of-war ship on the right-hand side. So from 1860 to 1874 was Queen Victoria second portrait, first type. The engraver for the obverse was Leonard Charles Wyan. He also did the reverse as well. Next up, we've got one from 1879. As you can see, we've still got the lighthouse there, and we've got the ship there. We've got the same obverse and reverse designer, Leonard Charles Wyan, but this portrait is the second type, whereby Victoria's neck is slightly wider, as you can see. And I think the hair's slightly different as well. And then we move on to the period 1895 to 1901. Now, unfortunately, I don't have an 1895 coin to show you, so next year is an 1896. And as you can see, we do not have a lighthouse, and we do not have the ship. Now, the engraver for this one was actually George William de Saules, and it was designed by Thomas Brock on the obverse. And George William de Saules also engraved the reverse. So basically, it was because of the change of design to Queen Victoria, the veiled head, or aged head, I think you might call it that. So that's the reason why the coin do not have the ship or the lighthouse. Now moving forward to 1902, obviously there was a change of monarch where we had Edward VII. Now, when I took this out the folder, by the way, is that the high tide one or the low tide one? I think it's the high tide one. But when I sort of twizzled that, the portrait is on a slight angle, so it's like a rotation error, and I've never ever noticed that before. But again, the obverse designer, George William de Saules, and the engraver for the reverse was Leonard Charles Wyon. Again, no lighthouse and no ship. I've got a 1903 here, the closed 3, as Paul at Control calls it, and that is perfectly aligned. So I don't know why that one is slightly off. It's definitely off. So that's the 1902, 1903, and just prove again, this is the 1904 one. The portrait's fine. Now, between 1911 and 1926, we had the portrait of George V on the coins. As you can see, again, no lighthouse and no ship. Now that's a 1926 one. But between 1926 and 1927, there was also what they call a modified effigy. So if I zoom in a little tad here, you can see there the colon between Brit and Omn. The colons are perfectly central, but you can actually get some 1926 coins where the colon is further to the left and not centralised. Now I've got a 1927 here, and all the 1927s do have that colon. As you can see, it's a bit more squashed up against the last T in Brit, so there is quite a gap there compared to the 1926 one. But this one would have been the this isn't the modified effigy one. So if you do find a 1926 with the colon up against the T there like that, it is a bit more rarer. Let's think I've got that right, Paul. You are the teacher here, you know. Now, 1928 to 1936, again George V, but the portrait is a smaller one. So I'll just bring that one back in. So you can see the portrait slightly, you can see the truncation on the neck. It's not as elongated as the one on the right hand side. The engraver on the obverse for that one was Edgar Bertram McCannell. Again, Leonard Charles Wyan did the reverse. Now in 1936 we had yet another change of monarch, but the first year that a coin was minted with the new portrait, George VI, was in 1937. It would have been Edward VIII, and there were some patterns made with his effigy on, but I think a few of them went missing. But as you can see there, we've got the lighthouse back again. So the obverse designer for this one was Thomas Humphrey Paget, and the reverse was Charles Walter Coons. So this design would have been on right the way up through Elizabeth II's reign, and the penny itself was actually demonetised on the 31st of August 1971, and obviously decimalisation took place earlier that year on the 15th of February 1971. You couldn't actually spend these, but I believe the banks were still taking them in as long as you could make up pounds or whatever with it. But I've also got a one from 1951, again got the lighthouse on. Now this one here has only got a mintage of 120,000. The 1950s and 1951s were basically used for colonial use, and I believe they were sent across to Bermuda. But there was I think a quarter of that figure was actually kept in the UK. Now I'd actually bought this when I was down in Derbyshire last year. It was in a bag of pennies, and I don't think the shop realised that there was such a rare coin in it, so I got it for, I think it was only a few quid, I think, I paid for this bag of pennies. It's excellent. So that's 37, 1951, and just to show you, 1961, there wasn't very many pennies issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth. There was a 1954 one apparently somewhere, but there was only one ever made. But it was quite usual to see pennies with 5 different portraits on. So obviously you had the Queen Victoria, Edward VII, George V and the VI, and Queen Elizabeth. They were all still in circulation during the 1960s. So there you have it. So basically it's just down to designs. So from 1895 onwards, the ship and the lighthouse were removed, but the lighthouse was put back from 1937. So hopefully that will answer quite a few of your questions. So that's it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed it. If there is anything I've got wrong, please put it in the comments below. Please be gentle with us if it is wrong. But until the next time, Monday Mix, which will be midweek mix next Wednesday, keep on hunting, enjoy yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.